I feel so bad. I don't want to sound rude, but like that own goal from Maitland Niles, man, I would have hung my boots already and never leave my house. Like, wow. I guess you laugh at that one as well, even Leo did, but in all honesty, Barcelona have enough problems to laugh about. Because even though the comeback was good, even though it showed character, resilience, and it showed a good bunch of players that actually had that attitude, well, the intensity was just lacking and it was absolutely worrying. But yeah, the third game in, we managed to get a win in a spectacular manner with an incredible goal from Luis Suarez. And for me, okay, it's a pass. It's a passing grade, but still, we have things to fix. And before we start off this video, be sure to check out our friends at BugaLuisFC. Links are gonna be in the description down below. They offer many benefits like having Barcelona's newest jersey, pretty cool. Needless to say, they're not authentic kits, but their aim is to make supporting your favorite club more accessible than ever. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? Boys here, and welcome to another match reaction for your third game of preseason, Barcelona versus Arsenal in the Joan Gamper Trophy. And I called it, guys. I said in my video yesterday that Junior Firpo would make an appearance, a cameo appearance, and damn, the Junior Firpo appeared. My goodness, I'm Nostradamus 3.0. It's incredible. And before starting off, I kind of want to give my opinions on Messi and Valverde, what they said at the start of the ceremony. I do think they did manage to say the right things. I wanted to put a little of emphasis on La Liga, but most importantly, acknowledging how disastrous the last season was. And they also reinforce that they want to go and fight for everything. And that's what Barcelona needs to be. Because when you start thinking about the Champions League, your mentality is going to change completely and be so drastic. When in reality, just enjoy the way, enjoy the journey, get to the 4 competitions, the stages that we were in May. And that's what Valverde repeated itself. In May, we also want to continue being in that position. Being in the semifinals of the Champions League, being in the final of La Copa del Rey, being in a very good position in La Liga. And that's what we want. We want to go for all 3 different competitions. And then you can see what happens. But for the moment being, just work on having a solid, coherent team and then build on it and see what you can do. It was the right things to say, and I agree with completely everything they said. Yeah, I think the team overall played, like I said already in the intro, a good game. It was very decent. The type of lineup that Valverde put out on the field for me was spectacular. I really liked his decisions. I thought that introducing Umtiti was the right move. Semedo right back as well, and then having De Jong, Riqui Puig, and Rakitic looked good as well. But the thing that I didn't like was that De Jong was playing in a holding position, and I want to see him a little more advanced. From now, I haven't seen Frankie de Jong be the guy that he was at Ajax. I haven't seen him dominate a game. Yes, it's early stages, but I would like to see him further up the field. It's literally where I want to see him, and it's a little bit worrying if you ask me, because Ernesto Valverde seems to be looking at de Jong as someone which can be a backup for Sergio Busquets, and that's not exactly what I would like to see. I would either like to see de Jong playing with Busquets, and then Arthur also in the midfield 3, but I have a feeling that Valverde will ruin this as well. Por favor, Ernesto, no la cagues. Por favor, play De Jong further up. He literally needs to be there. He looked very good today, and he just needs to continue like it, because if we play him further down the pitch and not even playing as a starter, he will struggle to find that consistency and bring the high performances that he did at his time at Ajax. And that's what we want. That's the De Jong that we all want to see in a Barcelona t-shirt. We don't want to see a De Jong who just comes in and plays 30, 40 minutes and 50% of the games. No, I want to see a Frankie de Jong that plays week in and week out in the first 11. With that, I would like to progress the conversation into Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig looked like, by a landslide, the most prepared player in that field today. He really looked that good. My dad didn't even know who he was. I was watching the game with him, and he was like, "Who's that kid, man? He plays like Iniesta." And I'm like, oh my goodness, he's gonna be Iniesta. He played so professionally and so elegantly and without any kind of hustle around it. When he lost the ball, he wasn't afraid to track back and get it back from the Arsenal player. That's the sort of players that we need. and he was the only one that I saw doing that in the first 45 minutes. Semedo had a little bit of it. Dembele is also kind of like getting to that rhythm, but perhaps needs a little bit more time. Antoine Griezmann is still trying to fit in, and then people like Gerard Piqué, which literally came back from an injury, just look like perfect. They look perfect. They look ready to go. The same with Luis Suarez in the second half. When he came in, I was expecting a Luis Suarez which was slow and methodical, but he was a little more aggressive and much more spicy than I would have expected, and that's very positive as well. It means that there are some of the players which, yes, are getting back into the rhythm, and that's one of the points that I made in my preview, that I wanted to see Barcelona players get into that rhythm, regaining back the competitive attitude, and it seems that we're doing that, but we should kind of like rush it a little bit more. We need to accelerate it because time is running short. So those were kind of like the main points, main aspects of individual players that I wanted to mention for the start, but now I kind of want to do a little bit of a recap to just kind of put into context all of the things I've said already. I think that at the start, Arsenal just played very good. They had good possession and high press. It didn't always work. It did put Barcelona into some very risky passes, but yeah, it wasn't always the best, and it left them very exposed at the back. Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan were especially difficult to deal with, and I gotta say that the two were involved in every good Arsenal move did in this first period. Barcelona with that struggled to defend, and well, with the ball, whenever we had it, the three midfielders were involved: De Jong, Rakitic, and Riqui Puig. Riqui Puig looked kind of like getting a new friend in Antoine Griezmann because he constantly looked to him to combine. And that is something that has been kind of like developing in the game against Visekobe as well, which leave us to think, or leave me, well, that there's kind of like a potential center forward role for Riqui Puig in the future. I do see him perhaps being much more advanced than we may be anticipating, because his movement and everything just looks like a young Iniesta. And if you remember, Iniesta did play further up the field, kind of almost in the forward line. Despite the good attacking performances Barcelona did after the initial press from Arsenal, we didn't exactly create any great chances. Riqui Puig and Alba only came with some few of them, and Jordi Alba is good to see him try something new with the right foot. Griezmann had a goal directly disallowed. Yeah, it was correct. But, oh my god, did you see the movement of Rakitic? The way that he stepped on the ball on that one, he just easily took out 3 Arsenal defenders in one move. Amazing. And soon after that came the goal from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a goal which was created by a very smooth path of Mesut Ozil, really. I don't know whether Arsenal fans want him or not. I've seen things either way, but if you manage to find a place for him in your team, he's gonna be doing that all the time. That's what you just need to do. Put Ozil into a plate and let him do what he wants. That's literally the point of this guy, because he doesn't defend, he doesn't run back, he doesn't do anything. And well, after that, in the second half, we saw Barcelona that actually kind of pushed themselves a little bit forward into their own half, because they defend a little bit better. I think we did defend a little bit better with the sort of rotations that we made. But the very same way we had the ball, that's literally the story of Barcelona. You can defend good, you have the ball, but we need to penetrate. And that's something that was very hard to do against these two lines of Arsenal, which looked very, very solid. But it was, of course, that terrible mental mistake by Maitland-Niles, who scored a really, a really bad on goal. Really, wow. To cut the guy some slack, I gotta say that in my eyes, the fault isn't from Maitland-Niles. It really isn't the fault from him. I think the fault is of the goalkeeper. I really do see that being the fault of Leno, because if you're a goalkeeper, you have to know the awareness of your defenders, and then you kind of don't have to go and rush for the ball because your defender already has it. And of course, as we reach the final minutes of the game, which was destined for penalties, and some part of me actually wanted to see penalties. I wanted to see Antoine Griezmann score a goal because, man, that guy needs a goal. I really see Antoine Griezmann foreshadowing, perhaps maybe struggling if he doesn't get a goal. So we need to pray that Antoine Griezmann gets a goal, because he does the runs good. He does stretch out the defense. He does all the good things, but a goal is ultimately what a forward player needs. With that being said, a moment of brilliance came, which decided the game. Sergio Roberto played an incredible pass into the box, and then Luis Suarez scored a spectacular volley in the 90th minute to win the 2019 Joan Gamper Trophy. I thought it was destined that Arsenal would have won as well, because the last time the Messi didn't play against Sampdoria that's when, Barcelona lost the Joan Gamper Trophy. Imagine losing your own trophy. That's humiliating. And thankfully, Suarez came in, scored that volley, and like I mentioned, he looked very, very ready and very, very sharp, which is good to see because normally the starts of Luis Suarez are very bad. So that's going to be everything for today, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop us a like and leave us a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao.